In this video I'm going to show you how to evaluate a given expression for the given values of the variables. So what does it mean to evaluate the expression? That means we have to replace every appearance of a variable with the given value. So first step is to rewrite the expression, but instead of every x we're going to write 2. Instead of every y we're going to write -3. And where necessary, and maybe where it's not necessary, I'm going to put parentheses just to make sure that we don't make a mistake here. Now we just have to keep track of all the parentheses. So for every open one there's got to be a closing one. Alright, and that's what the numerator looks like, and the denominator looks like this. Here we have absolute value with multiplication, so don't ignore the absolute value. Alright, so according to the order of operations, we do what's inside of the innermost parentheses first. So I'm just going to slowly work myself out here. You can start working on multiple parts at once. So for example, I can simultaneously work on this radical and this absolute value. So there's no harm in multiplying 2 by 2 and at the same time adding or multiplying or subtracting 2 and this -3. We can do it all at once. What's 2 minus -3? It's 5. At the same time I can take care of this -3, which is 3. Oh, what I actually have done here is I interpreted the negative sign as if it was -1. So that's why that is 3. And now looking at the largest factor in the numerator, we just have to carefully look inside. So the parenthesis around -3 is not necessary. The parenthesis around this number 2 is not necessary. And here we have 3 times 2 is equal to 6. And subtracting -3 is equivalent to adding +3. So that's what we have. And again, just focus on the innermost parentheses and work yourself out. So square root of 4 is 2. Here we have -3 minus 2, and 6 plus 3 is 9. -3 times 5 is -15. And we just continue. So the numerator becomes -3 minus 18. The denominator now is looking better. Now we just have to subtract 15 from 11, which is -4. And we're almost there. So -3 minus 18 is -21. And absolute value of -4 is 4. When we get this far, we can kind of transfer the negative sign from the numerator to the front of the entire fraction. And the rule of thumb when dealing with fractions and rational expressions is to simplify before you multiply. So that means if there is an opportunity for you to reduce a fraction and make it smaller, then you do that before you make it larger. So for example, here I noticed that 2 and 4 have something in common. That is, they have a factor of 2. So I'm going to reduce it by 2. 1 is going to be left here, and 2 is going to be left here. Also, I noticed that 3 and 21 have something in common. That is 3. So I'm going to reduce everything by 3. That means 1 will be left here, and 7 will be left here. So by following that simple rule of thumb, again, simplify before multiply, we were able to avoid dealing with large numbers, and we got the final answer, -7/2.